You can't do wifey shit for a boyfriend, and sometimes not even a husband. And this took me way too long to realize because I'm a natural caretaker. If you're a natural caretaker, you're gonna think that it's your responsibility as a woman to do these things for a man. Do not forget that you were doing labor. It shouldn't even be called wifey shit. It should be called domestic labor. If you're at home taking care of the house, I don't care if he's paying for your life, you're taking care of him. He's not taking care of you. The misconception is that if you're a homemaker, then you're not working. Oh, he retired you. He made it so you don't have to work anymore. You're working. You just switched having a job outside of the house to a job inside of the house. Like you switch from having a career to being a maid and a personal chef and an assistant and a therapist. What it takes some time to realize is that the money to make your life comfortable is for your exclusivity to him. And the reason that it's different between a man spending his time with a woman and spending his money on a woman and a woman spending her time taking care of this man is that, for one, her youth is much more valuable than his youth. He will never understand that you're spending your youth on him inside the house cooking and cleaning. Because a man, as he gets older, if he's making money because you've been supporting him by cooking and cleaning for him every minute so he can be laser focused on his work, he's going to be able to still get a girl that's the same age you were when you guys met when he's in his 60s. It doesn't matter to a woman. But for a man, it's going to matter a lot more if he ends up with a girl that's in her 20s versus a woman in her 60s. Obviously, it's a little bit different. Yes, some guys are into that. But the vast majority of men are going to be fine if they spend if they spend 30 years with you and then you guys get divorced or you guys break up, he's going to be in a much better position. And if it wasn't the case that a woman supporting a man by being a homemaker was contributing to his business, then why is it that New York State recognizes it in a divorce as the woman taking care of the man, as you owning 30 to 50% of his business? Why would it be? And that's one way that marriage can protect a woman. But this is why you absolutely cannot be doing this stuff for a boyfriend. And you can't even be doing it for a husband that's not going to be able to support you in the case that you get a divorce. That money that he's spending on you is literally just so that you're not hooking up with anyone else. He wants you exclusively, so he's taking care of you. And that's not to say that you can never be with a man without money, but it is to say he could also be cooking and cleaning. Could he not? Those are not feminine responsibilities. That's actually just taking care of yourself like an adult. And now the other thing is, it's not just that you have spent all this time supporting him so he's able to take care of himself even more and make even more money, and you may or may not be entitled to any of that. Think of all the time, the hours of every single day that you spend taking care of a man, because it's a lot. You wake up, breakfast for yourself. As a woman, you wouldn't even be making all these meals. Men expect actual solid meals. A woman is going to eat girl dinner. That's why we call it that. That's why, like, all of a sudden when you get into a relationship, you don't do girl dinner anymore. They need like some level of protein. Like, I'm going to drink a protein shake. I'm going to make things as easy for myself as possible because I know the amount of effort that goes into every single meal, and then cleaning up after that meal. And then, oh, his wet towels on the ground. Oh, his socks and underwear are everywhere. Hours of the day you are spending taking care of another human being that you could be putting into a business of your own. You could be putting into going to the gym and getting so fit that you get an even richer guy. Not to be crude. Him making it so that you don't have to work anymore is for your exclusivity, not so that you could become his maid. That is another entire job. And also, you're on call 24/7. You would be getting at very least $100,000 a year in this role as a full-time chef, maid, personal assistant. And the other thing is, you are sleeping with him. So he now gets to know that he has someone at the end of the night or whatever time of day it is. So he doesn't have to spend his time going out to bars, looking for someone to hook up with, because that's what he's going to need to do biologically if he doesn't have his woman. And then on top of that, you're coddling him, you're giving him love and affection, you're lowering his stress levels while he's working. Can you imagine how productive you could be if you had someone taking care of your every single need? And that's what you're doing for him, on call 24/7. As a nurturing person, you can't allow someone to take advantage of actual physical labor that you are putting in, because you decided to be with him because of the labor that he put in to make your life comfortable. But that was for you to be exclusive with him, because you guys could have just hooked up and then you could have gone about your life not taking care of him, not being exclusive to him, having as much fun as you want, not dealing with his little attitudes. That is not what that money's for. If he has you at home taking care of him, he's not just taking care of you. You're in a 50-50 relationship at that point. But no one sees it this way. It's only seen as like extremists or like girls that listen to Share 7 or whatever, but it's really not. It's as if we still have the same mindset from the 1950s where women stayed at home and took care of the man, but also women are working. That's another thing. If you have a job and you're cooking and cleaning for this man, absolutely not. And now we're not even talking about people that have children together. That's a whole other story because now you're a nanny. You're an au pair. I'm talking about literally just you and this man. The mess that a man makes and the amount that it takes to maintain a man and his mess and all of his needs, all of his human needs is a literal full-time job. And I'm so glad that at least the state of New York recognizes this. But now here's the issue. If you're with a man that is not making any significant kind of money, how is he going to afford to take care of you in any way? Even if you get a divorce. At the very least, this man has to pitch in. Otherwise, all you're doing is unpaid labor. It's not fair. It is not fair. You have to resist every urge to make this man's bed and make him food. You can let him know. Just be like, listen, I'm inclined to do these things. Like, I'm nurturing by nature. But because of the fact that this is actual labor and you're not in a position to actually compensate me for this, I can't do it. And then it becomes very difficult when you're the type of person that really likes cleanliness. And if that's the case, you might not be able to be with this man. If he's not willing to compensate you in some way for the ways in which you're taking care of him, I don't think it's worth your time. Because if he can't see the value in what you're doing for him, and if he's just a mess of a human being, he's not worth it. But don't let a man ever tell you that it is your duties as a woman to cook and clean for this man. That is a literal job. Never let a man convince you to be doing unpaid labor, especially if you are not in a legally binding contract of a marriage, in a legally binding marriage.